All right, so you're ready to get back behind the wheel
Yes.
after finishing up that substance abuse program.
Yeah.
And you're probably thinking, okay, now what?
Yeah.
Well, in this deep dive, we're going to lay out exactly how to land that next trucking job.
Absolutely.
We've got this awesome guide
Yeah.
packed with practical steps just for drivers like you.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking to an expert who's been there and back so they can share some wisdom from the trenches.
That's right.
We'll even uncover some surprising tips like how Facebook groups or even YouTube can actually be your secret weapon
Oh, yeah.
in your job hunt.
Mm-hmm.
But first things first, let's talk about that SAP you just completed. And, that whole being transparent thing,
Right.
completing that SAP, that's the non-negotiable first step.
Definitely.
The guide's really clear about that.
It is.
Then it says you got to be upfront with potential employers.
Transparency is key.
See, that's what I don't get.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better to just kind of not bring it up?
You might think so. But honesty really is the best policy here.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It shows accountability. You're committed to safety.
Okay.
It proves you've learned and grown. And that's
Okay.
what companies are looking for.
So how much detail should you actually share?
Well, the guide says to find that sweet spot,
Yeah.
be honest about what happened, but really emphasize the positive steps you've taken.
Okay.
Like finishing the SAP program.
Right.
Talk about how you're staying compliant.
Mm-hmm.
And, be ready to explain how you're preventing problems in the future.
So it's not just about owning up to the past.
No.
It's about showing how you've moved forward.
Exactly.
But let's be real for a sec.
Okay.
Some companies might be iffy about hiring someone who's been through an SAP.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
how do you even find the ones that are more understanding?
Well, that's where some good old-fashioned research comes in.
Okay.
And networking. The guide actually mentions companies known to be supportive.
They do.
Yeah, you can start with online forums like Truckers Report, or, check out the company review sections on Indeed.
Right.
Look for any discussions or reviews that talk about SAPs specifically.
So people are really talking about this stuff online.
Oh, absolutely. Drivers share their experiences. They recommend companies.
Wow.
They give advice. It's a goldmine of information.
Now that online stuff, the guide's emphasis on Facebook groups, that kind of threw me for a loop.
Yeah, I know.
Really?
Right. But they can be super helpful.
Okay.
There are groups specifically for drivers who've gone through the SAP process.
No way.
And recruiters actually post jobs there.
Whoa, that's a game changer.
It is.
Do any come to mind?
Oh, yeah. There's one called CDL Jobs After SAP Program,
Okay.
and another one, Trucking Jobs for Drivers with a Past.
Got it. I'm writing these down.
Oh.
What about the usual job sites?
Well, LinkedIn's definitely worth a shot,
Right.
but you got to be strategic about it.
Go.
Join those groups related to trucking and transportation
Okay.
and jump into the conversations. You might catch a recruiter's eye.
That's a good point. Now, what about YouTube?
What about it?
I mean, who would have thought YouTube could help you land a trucking job?
Well, some companies actually use it to show off their company culture.
Really?
And to attract drivers, you can search for videos with titles like Trucking Company Hiring Drivers
Oh.
or Second Chance Trucking Jobs.
Cool. All right, so we've talked about transparency,
Right.
finding the right companies.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the big question?
Yeah.
What if you get turned down because of your past?
It's a valid concern. And insurance is a huge factor in hiring decisions.
Right?
Companies have to manage their risk. So it makes sense that they'd be cautious.
So what can a driver do to address that head on?
The guide suggests something pretty bold.
Okay.
Ask companies directly about their policies regarding past violations.
What, really?
You can ask if there's like a waiting period after completing an SAP or an incident.
I don't know if I could do that. Wouldn't that be risky?
It's definitely a proactive move.
Yeah.
Shows you're taking initiative, and it shows you understand their concerns,
True.
and that you're willing to be upfront.
I guess so.
It might not always get you a straight answer,
Yeah.
but it could set you apart from other applicants
Okay.
and maybe even open up a conversation.
All right, so let's say you've done all that.
Okay.
You're putting yourself out there, but you're still hitting roadblocks.
Yeah.
That's gotta be discouraging.
It can be tough, but don't give up. The
Mhm.
jobs are out there.
The guide also says to consider options you might not have thought of before.
Absolutely. Think outside the box.
Like what?
Well, maybe you've always done long haul, but now you're open to regional routes. Or maybe you'd consider a smaller company or even a new location.
So this could actually be a chance to try new things.
It is. Think of it as building an even stronger foundation for your trucking career.
A foundation built on...
Safety and compliance.
Right. Okay, so just to sum it all up,
Uh,
be transparent.
yes.
Be strategic in your job search.
Mm,
And don't be afraid to think outside the box.
that's it.
And most importantly, remember, this whole experience, while challenging,
Yeah,
can actually make you a stronger, more responsible driver.
it can.
It's a chance to rebuild your career on solid ground.
Exactly.
Well, this has been incredibly insightful.
Glad to help.
Before you head back out on the road, one last thought for you.
Okay.
How can you use your experience to help other drivers going through something similar?
Mm.
Something to think about. Until next time, keep on trucking.
Will do!